You know what? We'll get into it.
We shall, as we are now doing that, exactly that. Getting right on into this best of 5 semifinals, the ZVT or the TvZ. It is going to be between this player over here in the top left-hand corner map, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide, LE. LE, of course, stands for Lovers Extermination. In the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the RedZug player, going to be coming down from the land of South Korea, representing KaiZ Gaming, KZG. We have Solar.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Mexican Terran player, Mexican/Korean Terran, if you will, as he does reside in the same room as Armani. We have, representing Team Exxon, it is SpeCial.
And SpeCial, he's made it to the finals for the first time last week, and now we're about to see if he can do it again. He's going to be going up against Solar, and I'll be real honest with you, Light, I kind of don't... I feel like Solar is one of the most unpredictable Zerg players in terms of measuring his form. I mean, just recently he was knocked out of the round of 16 of GSL.
Yeah,
that's not wrong, and I mean, to be fair, that's a pretty strong player, but...
Yeah, Solar, he's one of the players who has become really inconsistent. Obviously he has like a lot of prestige and legacy behind him. Like, he's won many tournaments, he's won an SSL like in the past, he's got a bunch of IEMs under his belt as well. Like he's an accomplished player, kind of like, you know, someone like Stu, but like in recent times, like they've kind of been struggling to make deep runs.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Maybe just the meta doesn't really jive with their playstyle too well, or something like that. But yeah, maybe they're just getting old.
Exactly.
I say that Solar is like one of the youngest Korean players.
Oh yeah, he's reached that age of 22, and you know what that means. F's in the chat. He's
He's 24 this year, actually.
Ah, there we go. 24. He's 24 and he's married.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way, to Solar. I believe he did get married.
That's probably why he's inconsistent.
Yeah, that's it. F's in the chat, mate.
Planning.
he's already settled down. That's it. He's done his pro gamer career.
SMH my head.
But yeah, like despite that, he's a solid player and he still can, you know, take series off of these guys. It's just, yeah, in recent times, like getting into like the top 8 or top 4 of GSL, it's something that we don't see from him anywhere near as often as we did in the past.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. But this is also what gives him the opportunities to show off in these online tournaments. You know, he's not worried about hiding any of his builds. He's not worried about, you know, schedule conflicts or what have you. He's just able to play.
Yeah, definitely. That goes for both of these players, because I know SpeCial especially, now that they're out of GSL, like they have so much more to lose when it comes to these weekly tournaments. Like they need to you know, earn some kind of money, especially with the ESL Cups, because they actually have some pretty decent prize pools compared to the other weeklies.
Oh, definitely. I want to say perhaps the biggest prize pool of the weekly events, but I am not sure on that. There's probably some money in the Chinese scene. Yeah,
I was about to say, I'm not too sure about the Kung Fu Cups. I know,
yeah,
I know
exactly.
The Chinese events have a lot of money as well, but regardless, like, I'm sure these two are giving it their all because they are out of GSL. They have so much more to fight for, and we'll see how they go here, because, you know, we do have a 2-on-1 coming out from SpeCial.
Yeah, all right. Something that we don't see too often nowadays, but I'm always appreciative whenever we do see it. It does mean that the Terran player is allowed to be a little bit more aggressive earlier on, get a lot of map control, but that word, control, is also something that you really need to look out for. As you lose more Marines, you lose all your momentum, and there's actually an interesting take on the 2-on-1 as well, like, not just going to be pure Marine, but also going to be having a little bit of a presence with Reaper Hellion.
Yeah, it is quite interesting. I think we've seen like some 2-on-1s hit with even like Hellbats sometimes. Like you can kind of mix and match how the opener starts out or like the builds. But yeah, I also appreciate the 2-on-1 coming out from SpeCial. I love it a lot more. Especially to play against, but that's because I'm not too fond of BCs. I'm not too fond of the 1-1-1. So at least I appreciate what SpeCial's doing.
Yeah, that's because you don't play that greedy nowadays. Used to, and that's why this build used to kick you in.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see what SpeCial is able to do with this. As you were saying, like, his push is like it hits hard, but it's also very fragile, right? You can't let like a good baiting connection to hit from Solar.
Absolutely. There is one chance that you're allowed right now if you're SpeCial. So we'll see how he utilizes it. As we do see these medevacs making their way across. They're just dodging the edges of the creep, trying to sneak on in. They're being sneaky, but Solar, he's got that spidey sense already. Immediately reaction times. This is what we like to see.
Oh yeah, at the same time, SpeCial was trying to go in with his Reaper Hellion, but it immediately gets completely shut down to the north of the map. So now Solar, all he has to focus on, all he has to worry about are these Marines.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, SpeCial also only has to worry about microing the Marines, but yeah, I do think that it's better for Solar to only focus on one front than SpeCial.
Yeah, and I mean, so far, SpeCial, he's just been able to clear creep, which to be fair, like, is decent for him, and maybe he'll get some queens.
Yeah, I mean, gets a couple of tumors, which can definitely help him out later on, especially as he builds into his bigger pushes. Did save the vast majority of his Marines as well. But he's got to be careful. That medevac is almost going to go down.
Exactly.
I do not think SpeCial can afford to stay on the map like this for much longer.
Yeah, that was some of the cool control things from Solar. Like, that entire time his queens are focusing on that medevac, trying to snipe it out of the sky. So we do see it is quite low, but it did survive. And here we go. SpeCial reinforces his army with the rest of his Marines and a tank.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing we could say about this map pool, there is quite a number of good map positions for tanks. But we shall see. It is only one tank for the time being, and I mean, to be fair, it's hard for Solar to try to flank that, but one tank does not really have a lot of damage on it. Meanwhile, a massive run by over here. Nice connections to the Banelings, but there are a couple of Marines still at the back. Really good splits too, and with that, SpeCial has enough to keep on going. His tank is still well alive and chilling away at this. He has enough bio to really start threatening the Zerg army. But Solar at the very least is going to give up this base. Good transfuse.
Oh, transfuse just barely keeps it alive. And as you were saying, this tank position from SpeCial, the tank has been left like unhindered, completely left alone until now the Lings finally get on top of it.
That they do, but the Banelings have already been taken out. There is already a replacement tank as battered down as it may be, and Solar is going to lose his base.
Exactly, and we didn't get to take note of it, but Solar actually mined out those minerals to try and make sure he had access to that tank, was able to take one out, but in the end he does lose that hatchery.
And I love the Baneling sniping happening from SpeCial, and a nice target firing over there. And he will be able to clean out these Lings as well. But I feel like SpeCial has to be so careful. He's simmed his army so much, and there's the hot pickup. He knows that the damage has been done, so he's just looking to regroup.
And keep pushing. Yeah, he regroups, he repositions his tank. More and more Marines are meeting up with the main army. And the thing I'm a little bit concerned about is that it is only just one tank here, but here we go, the Liberators come in as well.
Yeah, and this is something that is not something you see often. I think one thing you can say is that, I mean, Ling Bane, they don't shoot up, but at the same time, there's so many of them, and they're so fast, they can just zoom on through liberation zones. But with a choke point like this SpeCial, I cannot believe I haven't thought about this before. He's really forcing the issue right now, keeping his one tank as safe as can be. And SpeCial, I just do not see this army stopping. Look at the difference right now. 95 versus 36.
And the majority of the Banelings got taken out earlier. Like, these are the only Banelings remaining for Solar. There's no more in production.
GG. SpeCial takes game number 1, showing that getting engaged equals romanticide. I like that, Karen. I'm gonna use that.
Oh my god, F's in the chat for romanticide and marriage. But GG, well played. Again, as you were pointing out, like, romanticide has so many opportunities, so many ledges for a Terran to take advantage of, and SpeCial, he was all over that.
All over and up and around that.
Oh boy. And I didn't even notice the last one didn't have game heart. I'm gonna be real.
Oh, I did. Immediately I noticed it.
All right, we
You know how
are.
I can tell, Light?
Hmm.
It's because of the new update. When you have Game Heart on, there's going to be a massive white space on the bases
Oh, true. Yeah, yeah. I forgot about that. I blanked
during
that
the
out.
countdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, black it out, much like the update does for Game Heart.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, and here we go. We are remaking, just making sure that we have everyone in here for game number 2. And we do. We are getting into it. Gonna be loading in on Lightshade.
L-E! Ellie, of course, standing for... No, wait, it's not done yet.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Not the intro yet, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it was great to see that come to fruition on Romanticide. Yoda and I, we were very much so theory crafting about that map over the weekend when we got to see it. Of course,
I don't remember that. Is that what you call it, Light?
there was a lot more going down on that map. Mate, there was a lot going down on that. We were theory crafting, we were complaining, we were judging it, criticizing it, if you will. But we didn't get to see any Terrans because we barely get to cast Terrans.
Is that what you call it? And I don't know what I pressed Light, but now I have the thingy up. Wait. Alright, well, I'll figure it out later on. Here, we are now going to be going on to Lightshade. L-E. Ellie, of course, standing for Light when emote. Here in the top left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner of the map, we have the Red Zerg player coming down from the land of South Korea. He is been romanticized. Dead. He is going to be representing KyZ Gaming KZG. We have Solar.
And spawning in at the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the Mexican Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Exxon. It is SpeCial.
I don't have any Doritos here with me currently,
No,
but I do have cream crackers.
That's close enough. It's close enough. That's the Singaporean Dorito, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, it's not made of corn or tortilla, but
That's what makes it Singaporean.
yeah, much like the Platypus Cantina.
Exactly. So I was really curious. I don't know if you saw, but Solar sent out his drone like straight away when he was expanding, and he was very, very adamant. He was on top of his scouting. He actually checked all around his bases just to make sure that the SpeCial wasn't proxying.
Well, I don't think you can really blame him. Especially, you know, he is a player who has been known to throw those in every once in a while. In the middle of a series, just to throw a wrench in your opponent's plan, and especially on a map like Lightshade, I feel like the potential proxy locations, there are just so many of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like there are so many little nooks and crannies because of the way the map was built, because of all the rocks as well. Like there are definitely a lot of opportunities. But SpeCial, he opted not to take it, and Solar, he did lose a little bit of mining there because he was so paranoid about the possibility.
Isn't Nuke Pingu's father?
What?
You said a lot there. That was the one thing I zoned in on. You were like the nukes and crannies, and I was like, Nuke? That's from Pingu.
I didn't know that Pingu's father had a name.
I didn't either until you mentioned it.
God damn it, Yaku. Alright, so Solo, he does end up expanding, and SpeCial wasn't able to delay that whatsoever with his Reaper, so far nicely done by Solo. SpeCial has to be careful. Make sure he doesn't, you know, lose his Reaper too early. Yeah.
Yeah. Very essential for scouting. Also, basically the only map control you really have as a Terran player at this particular stage of the game. It's going to be a little while before the Hellions come out, so you do want the Reaper out just to, you know, prevent the Lings from really throwing a wrench in your macro plans.
Yeah, and I didn't quite get to see the order of the buildings. Was this a third CC before Starport? Question mark, or a 1-1-1 into Starport?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
Because the third CC is still less than halfway done, whereas the Starport is already finished up. So this is more of a 1-1-1 into a quick third.
There we go. So SpeCial opting to go for a more economic opener, not as economic as, you know, something like the third CC before Starport, but you know, he is working on it, and yeah, even, you know, has his Marines in position to deny the scouting to make sure the Overlord doesn't see too much.
Yeah, but there's not really much to see. Special trying to come in a little bit of map presence here. Just putting a little bit of pressure onto Solar, trying to see if he can maybe get a creep tumor here and there. But yeah, for now, they're just on the map, waiting for their opportunity to dive in, get some barbecue done, grill up some stingray.
Huh, interesting. We have concussive shells on the way for special.
Huh. Alrighty then. This Is he gonna get an armory? Is what I'm wondering. Like, because he's getting a second liberator down.
Like that makes sense,
and he's continuing
right?
to pump out the Hellbats.
Yeah, like we've seen Hellbat Marauder pushes before, but still no Marauder. So maybe special, like he's got his own spin on things here. His own build? Question mark? What are we gonna see?
He has
oh my god!
He's going into mech, actually.
Yeah,
he was just trying to trick Solar into thinking that he was going to go into Bio, but no, it's a special.
Hold on, okay. So quickly checking Solar's vision, he did see both factories being built. Whether or not he clicked on them is another question, because if he did, then immediately he realizes what's coming. And I mean, he did throw down a Roach Warren, so it's possible that he's aware of the mech.
Yeah, I would say that he knows. Meanwhile, the Hellions are starting to come in. Liberator providing a little bit of damage over here, but a very quick pullback for Solar and all of his drones.
Yeah, only lost some minimal drones there. 2 went down. Meanwhile, there are quite a lot of Hellions here sharking around from special. We do have that armory on the way. Not quite done yet, so no Hellbats, just these Hellions. And it looks like they are trying to find a way in.
But Solar does not provide that.
Yeah, we keep talking about it, right? Like, it's always tempting. Like, you see an opening, like, with all your Hellions, and you want to dive in, but, you know, one mistake, and if the Lings are in position, then you just lose everything.
Oh yeah, that's why Special is the top Mexican player, and I'm here in my room casting Special.
You're also not from Mexico.
That would be the Terran player who would do that. Well, you don't know that.
You're like,
I could be the number 5 player from Honduras.
It's possible. Wait, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And here we go. In the end, all these Hellions are going to be cleaned up. Meanwhile, there was a Liberator in the main base, but that did also go down. Not before taking out 5 drones, though.
Yeah, I mean, whatever damage that Special can get done this early on, he really doesn't want his Zerg opponent to get that economy out of control, especially when he's going into a much slower army. What? Special? Special? What?
Yeah,
what?
I went to the main just to confirm, because I saw the stim on the production tab. I was like, what? And I see 4 Raxes in production as well. So Special, I love this. He's like, yo, he goes for a factory opening, transitions back into Bio.
This is the ultimate mind game, I gotta tell you, Light. He even keeps the factories alive. Solar anticipating the mech. But no, it's gonna be Bio, and I tell you what, Light, it's probably gonna involve a lot of Marauders, too.
Oh my god, but Solar scouts! He sees!
Solar's gotta be scratching his head right now. He just does not know
okay,
what is going on. How rich does Special think that he is?
This is so important. So before this, Solar, he just assumed the Special was going mech. It's so important that he was able to go in. He confirms the Bio transition, the Bio switch, and immediately throws down a Baneling Nest. So he's going to get into that Ling Bane. Because if he was stuck on Roaches, then he would have just been completely caught off guard. The
Bio switch, what a weird thing to say. I think at most you see like maybe a Marine switch in the ultra late game, right? When there's like just so much, when you have so much minerals and not enough gas, and Hellions aren't really gonna cut it. But yeah, I'm just really baffled as to how Special has played this out. I mean, it's not like he's really rich either, but I don't know, we'll see. This is some pretty good tank positioning.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes for Special, because like switching tech like this, I like the idea, but it can also be kind of awkward to do when your army. It takes a lot longer to actually kind of get going, because you do have a bit of a Frankenstein at the beginning. So yeah, like to be fair though, because of the amount of tanks he has, like defensively, he should be fine, right?
Yeah, at least when it comes to these 3 bases, eventually Special will have to we'll have to get a 4th, and I tell you what, like Lightshade is not a map that it's easy to secure your fringe bases.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is why I do like that. Yeah, which is why I do like the Special is opting more for Bio play instead. I feel like you do need more of a mobile defense when it comes to this particular map. When it comes to securing, especially your 4th and your 5th base.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how this plays out for SpeCial. We'll see. I mean, he's going to be a little bit behind when it comes to his upgrades and things of that nature as well. But, you know, he is like clearing some creep. He is trying to find some damage here and there. Keep Solar busy.
And speaking of keeping Solar busy, Solar, he is busy. Busy attacking SpeCial.
Yeah. Oh boy, 7 SCVs got taken out, forced to lift up as well on the fourth base, especially doesn't have it quite secure, and he has to reconstitute his tank line, right? He has to maneuver it around, he has to try to protect his newest base, but Solar, he's just ramping on up. Oh my god, Ultra's Cavern already on the way.
Yeah, I mean, that is something I think you can afford to do if you're Solar. You know how heavily your SpeCial has invested in his macro so far. These Banelings are gonna miss. These Banelings are gonna miss. But it can come in for a flank at any time, Light. They will probably get taken out by the tanks, but they can come in for the flank. All right, a couple of Tongue and Claws Roaches over here just to provide a little bit of pressure.
Oh my god.
So deadly. So deadly. I mean, even if these Banelings don't get anything, I gotta imagine the friendly fire from the tanks.
Yeah, I love the way that Solar's using Burrow. Like, he's using Burrow to harass with Tunneling Claw Roaches and as well to set up these mines. Like, this is gonna be insane if SpeCial retreats down these ramps.
I cannot wait for it. It's gonna be like running into a meat grinder.
Oh my god. And yeah, we'll see again. Like, that's Solar, he just wants to push SpeCial back. He doesn't even want to win the like proper engagement. He just wants to utilize these mines, and SpeCial at the moment, he just has no idea that they're there.
It's a bit of a moral victory for Solar, I suppose. Got the cool ass borrow mines done. And then wait for the second engagement. But right now it does seem to be pretty far into SpeCial's favor. There's only a single Viper out right now, and it is looking very exposed. Our resupply is going to be favoring SpeCial by quite a bit. We haven't quite gotten to the phase of the game where the Terran player can, you know, completely replace SCVs with mules, but we're getting close.
Yeah, definitely. Again, SpeCial has to be so careful. He has a decent amount of tanks, though, an insane amount of tanks, but the Northern seems up.
One might argue too many. He doesn't really have a lot of bio here. Beautiful blinding clouds, but here comes the reinforcement tanks. And it will be able to clear out the Ling Bane for Solar. Bio count getting a little bit low, but will be enough to start stepping and really starting to take out these Ravages. And when it's all said and done, a lot of tanks still ended up alive. I love this tank split coming out from SpeCial. Because Solar only had one Viper out, he had to use a lot of blinding clouds that he just couldn't afford.
The thing is, like, SpeCial's a little bit on a timer because we have 4 Ultras on the way, and there's like, what, a single Marauder? There's no Liberators, there's no Ghosts, there's only tanks. Tanks do okay against Ultras, but again, like, Solar, he's gonna have like... Yeah.
Not if they get surrounded by Ling Bane, I tell you what. But still, this is a very scary, spread out tank line for SpeCial. I think Solar really does have to come in from a concave. And with that, I think Solar is ahead in this engagement.
Yeah.
He is. Blind Club's just going to be able to secure that. Now he has lost his Ling Bane buffer. And the mines do hit. You love to see it.
Did come to fruition, and exactly like 4 Ultras came out, only 1 Ultra fell there. Like, Solar, he had the superior army, he had the superior upgrades as well. He was able to get on top of the tanks, push SpeCial back. Now SpeCial, he's forced to, you know, go back home, lick his wounds. I love this though. Finally, we're gonna see a couple of drops here and there, and that's something that you can really abuse. We didn't really get to talk about it, but Solar, he skipped Hydras, he skipped Spire for the longest time as well. Like, there's not really a lot of anti-air, so you can use drops to your advantage as a Terran.
Yeah, especially on this map. Like, I feel like I've mentioned it a lot, but this is... Lightshade is the map where the bases are a lot more isolated than the rest of the maps of the current map pool. So if you're SpeCial, you just want to pick apart your Zerg opponent, just, you know, drop one after the other.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's what you want to be aiming to do. But now Solar, he does have his Spire. No Corruptors quite yet, no anti-air. So again, like, these medevacs for SpeCial, they're fine. Like, they're so safe.
Yeah, just even standing there, not even picking anything up. Just, yeah, I mean, you're creep. What are you going to do about it? Yeah. You have no anti-air.
Basically Overlords. It's just scouting. Here we go though. SpeCial. Exactly. Special, he is finally switching things up. He's working on Liberators and Ghosts both at the same time, looking to transition into that later endgame army that you want as a Terran player. He's still getting there though. Like, he still needs a little bit more time, and yeah, we'll see. Like, it feels like Special has been stuck on 4 bases for quite some time.
Well, that's because he has been stuck on 4 bases for quite some time.
Yeah.
Because he needs to get a 5th pretty soon, otherwise he has no more sustainability in this game. And the Banelings, I mean, they're not the best units that you want against Marauders, but they do soften them up enough for the Ultralisk clean up.
Oh yeah, definitely, and I love this because Solar doesn't have much anti-air. He's forced to use the parasitic bombs on the Liberators. The Queens are able to take him out. Not the best use of energy, but you know, he does deal with them.
Whatever you can get at this point if you're Solar. And once again, we're getting to the point where both players are maxed out. Special gonna have a little bit more in terms of the army. Solar gonna be having a lot more in terms of the bank. Good with a mine hit. Takes out a lot of Blings and a couple of Banes.
Oh,
but
God,
now, Special, you gotta move your army back. You gotta split! You're not the best connection for Solar, but still.
Exactly. Special was distracted because at the same time Solar went for a big ultra run by to the north. That's what he was paying attention to. He did end up losing that base in the end. Jesus Christ, I thought maybe it was lifted up, but no, it was absolutely killed. So Special down to 3 bases.
This is planetary.
Planetary, yeah.
But we do see another drop come down from Special. We have gotten to the point where Solar, you know, he is just ready. He has got all of his bases out. He is just able to remax on links and defend these points at a moment's notice. But for now, yeah, I don't know, especially even getting caught on siege a little bit here. Come on, Ghost. You gotta get your snipes out. You gotta get your snipes out. But you're not gonna be able to get that done.
Exactly. Jesus Christ. 5, 6, 7 tanks were caught unsieged, all went down. Meanwhile, the Lings on Burrow on top of the mineral line, taking out more SCVs from Special. Now Special feels like he's very much so all in. He has to try and end it here and now with what he has.
Yeah, he's got a decent tank count, and the Marauders are dealing quite a lot of damage on these Ultralisks, but it doesn't quite seem to be enough. Blinding Cloud's going to take a couple of these tanks right out of commission, and it looks like Special is just going to have enough to survive this engagement, but where does he go from here? That's going to be my question.
Exactly. The majority of the tanks
taken out.
And that's it.
GG. Solar going to be evening up the series. Sideways 1-1. This goes to show you. Where you saw it on Romanticide.
Yeah, it also goes to show you there's a reason why we rarely see Terran players switch tech like that. It's ideal if you catch your opponent off guard and if it goes unscattered, but like because Solar saw it coming, like he himself could adapt, switch his own tech, and it's a lot easier for Zerg players to do that, to like switch into what they need and just, you know, get into Ling Bane. And yeah, it was.
I think that is one of the biggest selling points of Zerg. You're gonna be picking your StarCraft 2 race. It's got a lot more flexibility there compared to the other 2 races.
Yeah, exactly. So Special was trying to like acrobat Solar, and it just didn't work. He wasn't flexible enough, you know, couldn't bend.
He tried to do a quadruple double somersault in the air on top of the trapeze, but Solar, here's a split, and the judge just went wild. Does that work out? I don't really know much about Jim.
Nah, I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah, why not?
But we are now going to be moving on to a more familiar map. That map being the Death Aura. LE. LE, of course, standing for Lasting Effervescence. Lasting Effervescence. That's indigestion. In the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner map, we have the Red Zerg player. Coming down from the land of South Korea. He's going to be representing KZ Gaming. KZG. We have the brightest amongst the Zerg players. He is Solar.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the Mexican Terran player, the Blue Terran, currently tied up 1-1 in this best of 5. What's he gonna do? Is he gonna go mech? He's gonna go bio? He's gonna do a bit of both like the last game? We'll see. We'll find out as it is. Special.
Good to see Dante now awake.
Good morning, Daunted. It's good to see you. I feel like I rarely get to see him in our streams nowadays.
Number one hype man EU.
Hmm.
Will that change with daylight savings? But then again, now I think about it, when is daylight savings? Look.
Australia had daylight savings 2 days ago.
Yeah, so it's probably going to change daylight savings, maybe, potentially.
Does Singapore have daylight savings?
No, we're on the equator, so
Oh.
the seasons don't really change the timings of anything.
Nice.
It blew my mind when I went to Germany. I was like, oh, it's dark out. It must be late. And it was like 4 p.m. So I went there in November.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah, time here is an illusion. It's a constant, but it's still an illusion.
Is time real? Have you ever seen time and SpeCial in the same room?
Yeah.
Yeah, so have I. Yeah. Oh, God. Also, you missed out on Gym, man. You went for Rising when you could have gone for Omei Gym, the OG Gym, if you will.
The land before time.
Exactly. Oh, my God. Yeah.
I got a ladder opponent the other day, and we just started talking about Chinese players, and we were like, yeah, no, XY, way better than time.
I saw that.
100%.
I think it got clipped or screenshotted or something. No, I think you shared it, right? The XY
I shared
fan?
a screenshot. Yeah. XY more than time.
I mean, I liked XY. Not that much, though. I'm gonna be real.
Well, I mean, for the longest period, he was like the only Chinese Terran player.
Yeah, true.
Until Time and Coffee came along.
Yeah, that is accurate. I was more of like a Jigua, Maxed, Tudming, of course. Who else? Top. There was the Korean top, but also the Chinese top. Yeah. None of them Terran. Yeah, Kiwian. What?
Ex-Kawaiian.
He's also Terran. Not wrong.
Yeah, from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Anyway, special optic for a Raven opening this time.
Yeah, pretty interesting. We'll see. I mean, we talk about this all the time, but SpeCial, he's a massive OCE fan. Specifically, he's a massive Hut fan, and he's, he's known for being in his chat. I believe he's his sub as well. Tier 2.
Yeah, and if he's not, somebody go gift him one. Yeah, Tier 2.
Not quite Tier 3, but yeah, we'll see if he's gonna go for some auto turret harass. I would love it if he does so. Like, we rarely see that in this matchup.
Yeah, auto turret harass would be kind of nice, but I have a feeling that SpeCial, he's just gonna be utilizing it more for that creep clearing, as he does have the Hellions in position.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm kind of surprised because like one Raven for clearing creep makes sense, but he's got a second Raven on the way as well.
Interference matrix on the Queen? Question mark.
I'm pretty sure it's for order. Look at where it's rallied to. It's rallied all the way to the corner into the mineral line, mate. We got some auto turret harass going on.
Yeah, but one other place that rallied right on top of light is that Spore Crawler.
Yeah, it doesn't stop one auto turret going down. Gets 2 worker heals. Meanwhile, the Hellions find an opportunity to dive in.
Yeah, that was a pretty good move, just to try to draw the Zerglings away onto that auto turret, and now the Zergling count has been completely thinned out. There are still 4 Hellions remaining. Still a lot of Queens that SpeCial does have to worry about.
Yeah, definitely 4 workers go down. A little less mining time, but in the end, all these Hellions do get cleaned up. The other Raven, just a little bit mistimed. It is still on the way, and all the Hellions are going to be down before it gets here.
That's going to be quite a bit of a rip. The links have been remade. The link count has been reset, and with that, I have a feeling Solar is going to have much trouble with this other auto turret harass.
Yeah, especially because all the Lings are rushing to the other side of the map. Then we go, the auto turret does go down, and again, does get a decent amount of worker kills, forces them off the line as well.
Man, auto turrets really take a while to kill units that don't have a mech tag.
Oh yeah.
So it's weird to see it in the TvZ.
I'm telling you, man, SpeCial has been tuning into some Hut.
He is one of Hut's. He is one of Hut's pizzas.
Yeah, puts tomato sauce on it, ketchup if you will.
At Rainer. No, Rainer's already well aware of that.
At Rainer. Oh,
he lives with it. He tolerates it.
I don't think he does. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure there's beef. There's beef between Rainer and SpeCial over that pizza.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like beef on the pizza. I was going to be like, you came here and you saw our non-pork beef alternatives.
I did. I didn't think I tried any.
You didn't?
Yeah, I should have. What the hell? I went to Singapore and I didn't have any pizza.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Because that's what we're known for.
It is, right? God damn it. But yeah, so far, like SpeCial, like he's been able to deal some damage, not too much with the Ravens. He has kept this one alive, and he's able to dip in and out consistently. Oh,
well, he is just keeping Solar back for the time being, which is pretty important as he is starting to really ramp up his production. He is getting into that, you know, mid-game industry boom. Almost like a gateway explosion, but for Terran.
Yeah, and I mean, as he's getting into that, we do see a double drop. He does try to hit the third base, so he does get pushed away by the Ling Bane. Lands into the main, and oh, does he get a queen? Transfuses on point.
Yeah, really on point target firing there as well. SpeCial gonna take a while before he's gonna be able to, you know, take big risks with that medevac.
Yeah, definitely. And this is something that we're a lot more accustomed to, like 1-on-1 into bio play. Like, this is a lot more standard. The Ravens not so much, but you know, SpeCial, he's trying to make this work. Has to be careful with that medevac. Oh god.
But he does manage to boost it away, making absolute great use of that dead air.
Yeah, he's able to keep it alive. Has to be so careful. Again, it's like what, 2-3 queen hits away from going down. You know, doesn't want to pick up and get caught out like that. Meanwhile, we do have this drop to the north as well, looking to try and deny a base, get some overlords.
Yeah, not too bad damage, especially considering the fact that he is keeping all of his Marines alive. I was waiting for that point where this 95 army supply is just gonna, you know, pierce through and pierce through a Zerg army. Get a bit of a spearhead up.
I mean, he's trying. You know, we got 3 tanks here set up and waiting. A bunch of the creep was cleared, so in a couple of moments it will recede, giving SpeCial more room to just leapfrog his tanks forward.
Slowly but surely. And, yeah, I think this is going to be a very intense engagement that we're going to be seeing out from SpeCial. He is kiting to the best of his ability right now. And slowly inching on forward. Solar really does not want to overextend with what he's got. This is his best shot of deflecting the Terran army. And he is trying to get that surround, but I feel like he may have miscalculated here. SpeCial kiting back. Still has a couple of these tanks live, and most importantly, Solar Sauce's buffer.
Exactly, like we still have 2 tanks here to reinforce and be that anchor point for SpeCial. The majority of the Marines have survived as well, but there's still a decent amount of Banelings. Solar, though, he's like very tentative to commit. Like, he continues to lose more and more Ling Bane, and he can't quite break this.
Which honestly I think is a bit of a good thing. You know, may as well sacrifice a couple of Lings here and there, try to deplete the energy from the medevacs and see whatever you can get done. But here come the reinforcements once again for SpeCial, kiting back and splitting immensely well. And the Banelings have been taken out. There's still a decent amount of bio here. I'm worried about the Queens and how well they can transfuse, but it looks like SpeCial is going to be able to at least get a foothold on top of this ramp.
Exactly, able to snipe off a couple of Queens here and there. The majority of the Banelings have gone down, so these Marines are just going to push on forward. There are a couple of Banelings morphed in, though, from Solar. He's going to have to use them to try and push SpeCial back. The target fire.
Absolutely beautifully done here by our blue Terran player.
Wow.
He has to be so careful on top of these Banelings, though, but he will be able to take them out. Tank coming in once again to act as a bit of an anchor, and all of these reinforcements like SpeCial has finally broken through the Zerg exterior. Exactly. And he's right up at its heart.
To be fair,
belly, if you will.
To be fair, Solar, he did save the majority of his drones, and he did transfer them over to the top right, so he still has that base going for him. But SpeCial, he has so much momentum. He has this foothold as well. Oh, but the reinforcements get caught out.
And they do, and especially this tank. I feel like that's the most important thing for Solar to snipe. Because that's going to be what allows SpeCial to have the staying power, but he is going straight for the Doom Drop.
Oh my god, he drops into the main. That was so risky, especially because one of these medevacs was so low and was full of units, but he did manage to drop everything in here. And we'll see if Solar, can he actually break this?
I'm waiting for the Ultras to pop is what I'm waiting for, like. But really good position here on the high ground and the low ground. SpeCial really not losing that much in terms of the bio.
Yeah, there's just so much bio here, and it looks like there's just not enough banelings, but as you said, now the first Ultralist is out, 2 more Ultras on the way, and with them, they should be beefy enough to push SpeCial's bio back.
Yeah, that it should. Kind of explaining going to be finished as well. I was worried a little bit for Solar. I thought that if SpeCial really continued to pump up the marine production, the marine pressure, then it doesn't take that much to take out the Ultralist without kind of splaiting. That's why you always eat your buffer, but yeah, now that upgrade's finished on, Solar in a fantastic position.
Yeah, I agree. SpeCial was so close to breaking Solar, but because Solar was able to hold on, like he has 80 workers, like he doesn't need to drone up anymore, and now he has Hive and Ultralist as well. Like Solar, I feel like the longer this goes on, the better it's going to be. We'll see how much damage SpeCial can get done here with his next push.
Which should be a decent amount, but he is going for the flank. Solar is. If he can take out these tanks, then I feel like it's just gone game for SpeCial. He's gonna have to evacuate, but a lot of connections with the banelings. Medevacs could not pick up fast enough, but what do we see once more, Light?
Nothing.
We see that Solar does not have a lot of anti-air. In fact, he has no anti-air. So SpeCial just gonna completely bully these bases. Just find some way to starve Solar out of this game.
Exactly. He's abusing the fact that nothing shoots up, so these Liberators are getting a lot of just free damage at the moment. Solar, he does have 3 Corruptors on the way, but again, it's going to take quite some time. We'll see if SpeCial can snipe the base.
God, I love this position right now for SpeCial. Just make sure that he can bait as many units as he can into this hatchery. Not quite going to be able to take it out just yet.
Yeah, but he can always go back, right? That hatchery is so low, and he's actually going for it. I don't know what caused Solar to like pull his entire army over to the left-hand side, but he did, and he just exposed his hatchery.
Right-click on the hatchery, SpeCial. Right-click on the hatchery and back away. Right-click on the hatchery and back away.
Oh, he got the queens
a little
instead.
bit preoccupied with those queens. He does back those queens into a corner, though, and those Corruptors are nowhere near these libs.
Oh, exactly.
Will be able to live.
Yeah, only 1 queen remains, and there are a couple of Corruptors, but again, they're not quite in position. Looks like the Liberator is going to deal damage regardless, and I love this. I was waiting for it. SpeCial finally taking his 4th base.
Whoa.
He desperately need. I was like, the entire time I'm like, oh my god, he's on 3-base economy, like he's gonna run out of steam at any moment. But it's so important that he's been able to expand so he can just keep going, because at the moment he's just been keeping Solar busy despite Solar having technically the better army. Like SpeCial has kind of been able to juke and drive and not really commit to any of the like engagements with the Ultras, and he's done really well.
Yeah, he definitely has. Meanwhile, here comes round 6, I believe, of SpeCial pushing into this position. And it is a lot more deadly for our Blue Terran player. Beautiful surrounds here coming out from Solar. But the mines do land regardless, killing everything in its path. Meanwhile, a drop over here into the main base. And we'll draw a lot of the army back.
Yeah, he even killed the spawning pool.
Yeah, which is, funnily enough, probably the most important building right now for Solar. As that's going to be the only way, or the way for him to really spend his minerals. That was not a cancel.
That was not a cancel. Yeah, and in the end, 20 workers have gone down. This Liberator just going crazy here at the 3rd base, sorry, the 4th base location. So many drones going down. And what's so important is like the crease spread, because earlier all the queens went down. Like the crease spread really has much to be desired, especially here on the left-hand side of the map. So it's really a nice like position for SpeCial to push in. Oh my god.
Yeah, it definitely is. Really SpeCial been utilizing the multi-prong tactic. That can be really strong for Terran.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like SpeCial, he's just pushing on forward, and there are plenty of Ultras here. We'll see if Solar has enough.
Seems like he may have just about enough-ish. Not quite going to be able to. This hatchery is going to go down once again. That's just way too much bio. Oh, but SpeCial, not committed to it. Does back away, but will be able to get it now. Just kidding.
Exactly. At the same time, there was no Liberator that was distracting all the Corruptors, and SpeCial takes out another base, backs off, and he should be able to rotate over to the right-hand side. The problem is that this area of the map is a lot more difficult to push into. Like, there's a lot more creep spread. You know, there's no, like, now Solar, he has the high ground, he has the newest base as well that he's trying to take, so yeah, it's gonna be a lot more difficult for SpeCial to make something happen here.
And difficult to defend as well. SpeCial, I mean, as you were saying, he was trying to rotate around to the other side of the map when, you know, he didn't quite see that Solar was going for this big counterattack, but look at that. Just about going to be able to flank his Zerg opponent, but their turns have been table light, and Solar outflanks the flanker.
Exactly. The majority of SpeCial's army was taken out because he was split up all over the place. Like, his bio wasn't all together, and now Solar, he's breaking into the third. Like, SpeCial, he just doesn't have enough.
He's just about done it, Light. I cannot believe how patient Solar has been playing this game. GG is called, and Solar are going to be on match point.
Oh my god, that was on a knife's edge. Like, again, SpeCial, he was doing so well, but like after he killed that hatchery on the left hand side, he like split his army up into 3 like different segments, and then he was just picked apart. It was like, oh my god, he was just all over the place.
Nodding my head.
And we are getting ready to get into game number 4, potentially the final game of this series, I should say. And Yaku, how are you holding up? I
mean, I'm not gonna lie, I am starting to feel a little unwell. A little under the weather these past couple of days. Yeah, I thought I was well enough to cast, and I think I should just about be able to finish the series at least.
Yeah. We'll see how you feel after this series. Of course, we always have some. I have to make sure she's ready, but I always have some crit pleases available to cover an entire series, so that should be fine. Yeah, as long as you're taking care of yourself, Yaku.
Yeah. Remember to hydrate your Hydras to everybody back on at home. As I take a massive swig from my thermos. Water is important. The Great Hydrator. That would actually be a really good nickname. The Hydrator.
The Great Hydrator?
Yeah. They're like, I don't know, they just drink a lot of provide water. That's what I called a well back in Indonesia. And speaking of wells, we are now on that map, which is kind of related somewhat. We are on Oxide LE. LE, of course, standing for... What's that element that starts with an L, Light? Lithium.
There you go.
What's that element that starts with E? Energy. Lithium energy. That is going to be what you get powered by. Here we are now on the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way to the top right-hand corner map. We have the Red Zerg player coming out from the land of South Korea, going to be representing KZ Gaming, KZG. We have Solar.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Oxide LE, we have the Mexican Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Exxon, currently down 1-2 in this best of 5. He can't lose another game, otherwise he's out of ESL Open Cup 39. It is SpeCial.
We oxidizing, Light.
We be breathing. And speaking of breathing, Solar, once again, he was all over the place with that initial drone, scouting around, making sure there was no proxy.
Nicely done.
Even with these overlords, they're going all over the place, making sure there's nothing out on the map.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that Solar is, you know, too worried about proxies. I feel like this is more of a precaution that he's taking just in case. But yeah, I mean, you do have to kind of do that against a player like SpeCial, especially when you're not sure about how where the proxy locations on the new maps are going to be looking like.
Oh yeah, definitely. I like it. Solar, he's playing very safe. Very, he doesn't want to like slip up and be caught with his pants down and just kind of lose the game just like that. I think it goes to show that he has a lot of respect for SpeCial. He feels like if he gets proxied and he doesn't get scouted, then maybe SpeCial can take a game. You know, like he needs like as much like heads up as he can get.
Yeah, he's got his lead. He does not want to throw that away.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
Speaking of lead, SpeCial leading on forward with these Marines. Really does not want his overlook to live, and it does get taken out. Almost thought it was going to retreat into the dead space, but it did not in time.
Yeah, really nicely done. So SpeCial, he skipped out on the Reaper and went for Marines instead, and because of that, he was able to snipe an Overlord.
Yeah, I'm not sure why he, decided to go this way, but maybe playing it out a little bit more safe. I mean, he did decide to go not for the 3cc before Starport, not even going for the quick third CC, just going for a much more standard 1-1-1.
Yeah, like because of his opener, it does mean that he will have a much higher Marine count, so he can make a push quite strong. This also means though that if Solar was going for like an early Roach Warren or an early kind of like all in, then SpeCial would have very limited like scouting information, but like luckily Solar played pretty standard, like there was nothing to hide, so like yeah, the Reaper again, so SpeCial was able to afford not going for that Reaper and he didn't really lose anything for it.
Perhaps he anticipated it.
I think so, to be honest. I think he's like, you know what? Someone's probably going to play standard. You know, I can just be a little bit greedy and skip the Reaper.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at this map layout too closely, but I think you can. I think that's the assumption. I mean, it's not quite an Eternal Empire, but it's kind of like that.
Yeah. And here we go.
Hellbats are starting to come in, and I mean, this is a little bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it, Light? About when you decide to go for more standard economic, Hellbats are going to be parked right on top of this ramp, going to be able to intercept anything coming out from the from the third base as well. Just have to be a bit careful about these Banelings. They do manage to connect, and all of these Hellbats are just a couple of Queen flicks away from being taken out.
Yeah.
But I feel like SpeCial may have just enough. He is starting to split. Medevac did get taken out, but I feel like there's just enough firepower here to take out a lot of drones.
There are a couple of reinforcing Hellions that they do transform into Hellbats, but again, as you said, those 3 Banelings a second earlier and SpeCial would have been able to take all of them out, but they just finished in time, connected like the most ideal connections you can wish for, and Solar holds.
Yeah, I was expecting SpeCial to at least get a bit more in terms of the drone damage, but SpeCial, Solar, he has held that just about as well as he could.
Yeah, definitely. We do have 2 more Hellbats here for SpeCial, and they are going to deny some mining time, but again, nowhere near the amount of damage that he would have liked to have dealt, like especially with the amount of investment he went for, as so far 9 Hellbats went down, 7 Marines, and a Liberator as well.
And not the most efficient trades coming up from a Blue Terran player, and already he sees the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
Solar going to be our first finalist for ESL Open Cup Asia, number 39.
GG, yeah, SpeCial, he went for this all in, and again, like a couple of seconds sooner, if he had gotten on top of those morphing Banelings, everything would have been different. But we all saw it, right? Those 3 Banelings finished up just in time, and every single Hellbat went down to the red. Like, it was just,
It took a couple of Queen hits from there on out to real clean out SpeCial's attack.
Yeah, definitely. And with that, Solar, he takes the game, takes the series, advances on to the grand finals, and we are gonna be looking to see who faces him in those finals.
Yeah, will it be a Zerg player by the name of Dong Regu, or will it be a Protoss player by the name of Trap?